last name fits you better.
Hey guys, it's Frank. Welcome back to my channel. Guess what we're going to be talking about today? The cost of living in Winnipeg. Now, I understand it's been a while since the last time I talked about Winnipeg, because the last time I made a video about Winnipeg, let's just say there are a lot of mixed reactions in the comment section. People who absolutely loved it, and people who absolutely hated it, and then said things along the lines of,
"Hey Frank, I'm from Winnipeg, and clearly you don't know anything of what you're talking about. Clearly you haven't been to any of the restaurant scene because they are the greatest. Why don't you just do us a favor and get on out of here?"
And you know what? As much enjoyment I had reading all those comments, it got me thinking, maybe I was just looking at Winnipeg all in the wrong way, and I was just only focusing on negatives and maybe not enough about the positives. And well, to be fair, this wasn't the first time I was wrong about a city. Like, I made a video about reasons not to move to Toronto, and then I somehow eventually moved back to, well, no other than Toronto. So tell you what guys, for this week's video, I'm going to be focusing more on the positive things about Winnipeg, which is no other than the cost of living in Winnipeg. Before we dive into the video, give this video a good old smash, as I'm not sure how Winnipeg people are gonna react to this video this time around. So please do so, and now let's begin the video. One of the most appealing things about Winnipeg that even I have to admit are the home prices. So a lot of people knock on Winnipeg, saying that it is freezing cold, nothing to do there, too many mosquitoes, and guess what? You're right, you're absolutely right, but maybe I can persuade you by telling you more about the home prices. When looking at Winnipeg's housing market for the end of 2021, we saw the average sold price for a detached home at $382,000. Now looking at an attached home, you're looking at $341,000. And if you decide on taking on a condo instead, you are now looking at $243,000. And the thing is, who am I to judge and say what is affordable and what is not? However, as a person that is living in Toronto and me witnessing literally prices soaring over $1 million recently, the sound of Winnipeg, on paper at least, it sounds like heaven on earth. As our world becomes more digitalized and working from home becomes more standardized and normalized, I'm starting to see why young families are now fleeing the big cities and going to places such as Winnipeg, because your dollar stretches a lot further there. You can get 2 or 3 times the amount of space for literally half the price. As home prices in Canada continue to soar year over year, I'm not shocked to see people now basically forced to relocate to smaller cities should their end goal ever to be financially stable and own a detached home. When looking to rent out a place in Winnipeg, similar to the idea how housing prices are increasing basically everywhere in Canada, the same goes with rent prices. The latest numbers have an average rent for a 1-bedroom out in Winnipeg at $1,165 a month, and a 2-bedroom going just under $1,500 a month. However, despite the numbers increasing year over year compared to the national average of Canada at roughly $1,700 a month, Winnipeg's rent is still relatively low. From my experience and having friends that live out in Winnipeg, those who rent out in Winnipeg generally don't rent too long, as I find it's a lot easier for people to save and make the jump from buying and purchasing a home in comparison to bigger cities like Vancouver or Toronto. And looking at the national rent report for January of last month, Winnipeg ranked 27th out of the 35 on this whole entire list, sliding just below Calgary. All right, now let's talk about the public transportation in Winnipeg. In other words, the good old magic school bus. Should you ever take the bus out in Winnipeg, according to the Winnipeg Transit website, it's going to cost you $106 for a monthly pass. And if you're looking to take a one-way route, it's going to cost you $3.10, which is quite ridiculous. Like, if it's anything like I remember, like the transit system being waiting 30 minutes outside in the freezing cold for the bus, the monthly pass shouldn't be any more than $50. In my opinion. You know what? I just thought of something that I wish I knew back in high school, and let's just say you don't want to take public transportation and you really want a ride home. You know what you should do? You should just become friends with one of those spoiled rich kids that their parents gave them a Lamborghini when they were 16 years of age, and they said, go ahead, drive your car. And that's what you should do to get free rides. Oh gosh, I'm gonna be canceled for this. Let's pretend now that you're one of the cool kids who received a car for their birthday. How much would auto insurance in general in Winnipeg look like. According to the source from RateHub online, the average annual car insurance premium in Winnipeg is just over $1,000. Manitoba operates on a no-fault system, so you'll receive money from your insurance plan regardless of who's at fault. So dividing that $1,000 on a monthly basis, you're looking at $83 per month, which is pretty darn low. I'm paying $160, but mind you, I'm living out in Toronto. I also want to highlight that part that I mentioned earlier of Manitoba operating at a no-fault system. And what this means, if you're unaware, is basically anyone can drive your car, meaning you can drive my car, you can drive my car, even you can drive my car, as long as you have a driver's license, obviously. And growing up in Winnipeg, I thought this was like the standard for Canada, but boy was I wrong, because when I moved to Ontario, what happens over here is you typically insure the person with the car, and I guess you can add people to the list. But generally, let's just say, hypothetically, I'm going on a road trip and I get tired and I say, hey friend number one, can you drive my car? And they get into an accident. You know what happens? It means I'm screwed. But yes, end of the day, it's quite nice that Manitoba operates on a public insurance and has such low rates altogether. Out in Winnipeg, unless things have changed, some of the most common grocery places that people go are places like Superstore, Costco, maybe Safeway, and I think there's even a No Frills downtown. I have found online of a website called Moving Waldo that the average grocery price for a single person that includes the basic item of milk, eggs, vegetable, and fruits will cost you $214 per month, while a single household on average spends $698 per month, or else $8,380 on a yearly basis. With a population of just under 800,000 people, Winnipeg features 1,100 different restaurants across the city. And although I'm no expert in the restaurant area, and apparently I am really bad, if I had to suggest options that are outside of the franchise options of Boston Pizza, I have a list of options that I found online on Reddit of a user that provided a list of some places to check out. To conclude this video, let's now break down the cost of living out in Winnipeg. And as a friendly reminder, no, I do not hate Winnipeg. I just find it really cold, but here we go. And similar to my other cost of living videos that I made, I'm gonna be dividing this cost of living into 5 different buckets of rent, public transportation, groceries, internet and phone, and a gym membership, just to give you a rough estimate. Okay, so looking at rent out in Winnipeg, we have $1,165. Taking the public transportation, we have $106. Groceries for a single person is $214 on a monthly basis. Internet and phone, now although we didn't capture this in the video, I did capture, this is analytics from the CRTC, that it's $155.17. And looking at a gym membership will cost you $50 on average, giving us a grand total cost of living in Winnipeg to be $1,690.17. This again is under the assumption that you are doing it alone, you are renting and taking public transportation, but more altogether, this is just a rough estimate to kind of get a feel of the cost of living in that city. And by the way, if anyone is curious to know what the cost of living in Toronto or Calgary, I actually made videos in the past about those cities, so feel free to check those out when you have the chance. But anyhow, with that said guys, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching and following my millennial journey. If you had any questions about the cost of living in Winnipeg, let me know in the comment section down below and I'll gladly answer them. Hit that subscribe button and I guess I'll see you guys all in my next video. Peace.